So guys, it is officially fight week of the huge fight between Francis Ngannou and Anthony Joshua, which takes place on Friday. And as I said in the previous video, we are going to be doing a live stream on the press conference, on the weigh-in, and also for the fight itself. So Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, we are going to be busy on this channel with live streams for all three of those pieces of content. But of course, it's the big time on Friday. We've got to talk about, not the main event, we're talking about the co-main event between ZHANG and Joseph Parker. Chinese power, and then the absolute machine in Joseph Parker, who has worked his way back into this heavyweight contendership. And really, we've got two heavyweights here that for me are in the top five. I've got ZHANG as number 4, and I've got Joseph Parker in number 5 after his recent win over Deontay Wilder. I really do think he's in that top 5 now after that great performance. However, we've got to break down the fight. Well, we've got to break down each fighter, and then I'll do a little bit of a prediction at the end, how I see it going, how I see the winner getting their hand raised. However, we've got to start off. We're going to move over to BoxRec and start off with the Chinese power, ZHANG. Absolutely unbelievable fighter. And to be honest, I think he should be undefeated. He is 26 wins, 21 knockouts, and the 1 defeat to Filip Hrgović. And I think that is where we're going to start, because that is when we really started to understand that ZHANG was a problem in this heavyweight division. And from there on, he's just looked absolutely unbelievable, if we're being honest. Obviously, 2020, on the undercard of Usyk versus Joshua 2, we had Filip Hrgović and ZHANG in a fight that I thought he won, and a lot of other people thought he won, obviously dropping Hrgović early in round 1 and winning majority of the rounds up until about round 6 or 7, and obviously the gas tank kind of caught him up, and then Hrgović won a few more rounds after that. But I thought he won that fight. He just looked so accurate, so sharp, so powerful, obviously hurting Hrgović, had him all over the place in rounds 2 and 3. He was really putting the pressure on. However, we've got to talk about the fact that he did gas out. Hrgović did win some rounds near the end because that gas tank. However, he has got the fast hands and the boxing ability, but those feet and that gas tank are a bit of a problem, and could become a problem with someone like Joseph Parker, who likes to go on the tiptoes and he likes to move quickly in and out. We will talk about that a little bit later. But obviously, after the defeat to Hrgović, which again, I thought he won, we had the first Joe Joyce fight. And a lot of people at that point in time were on the Joe Joyce bandwagon, thinking his chin could take him to the top of the heavyweight division. And, well, he absolutely found Joe Joyce out, damaging him with a cut, landing that backhand at will, and forcing the stoppage. The doctor had to come in and wave the fight off because he couldn't see out of his eye. Absolutely smooshed him all over the gaff. And it was an absolutely unbelievable performance. And that's what really put ZHANG on the map. I mean, we had the Hrgović fight, which it gained a bit of interest. But the Joe Joyce fight, because the hype around Joe Joyce at the time was so big, when that happened, everyone was like, whoo-hoo. I mean, we did a stream on this channel, actually, when it was called Talk Sutty. And it was actually my most viewed stream ever. It's got like over 1,000 views. And that was that fight. It was unbelievable. We did the stream, and I was absolutely amazed. I was like, oh, my days. He's bashing Joyce all over the shop, and he was. It was an unbelievable performance. It was like Joe Joyce had never been in there with a southpaw, because he was just smashing him in that backhand over and over and over again, and that's eventually what caused the stoppage. And then obviously we move a few months later, and we had the rematch, and he did the exact same thing. This time he ironed Joe Joyce out, hit him with the backhand, and then followed through with that beautiful right hook that sent Joe Joyce to the canvas. And he just couldn't continue because it was an absolute unbelievable shot. Absolute dynamite in his fist, ZHANG. We know he's got the power. We know he's got the skill, because we know he boxed at a good level at the Olympics. Obviously losing to Anthony Joshua, but a very very good fighter. However, we've got to talk about those feet and the gas tank. The gas tank has looked better against Joe Joyce because he's really slowing it down. He is going in 20-second bursts. And that 20 seconds is absolutely amazing. And it sometimes, majority of the time, it's hurting the fighter, and it's catching the rounds really, because he's just sitting there. He'll wait, and then boom, boom, boom. He'll unleash a combo, have his opponent hurt, and then that's what catches the eyes of the judges and wins him rounds, and also gets himself finishes as well. But those feet and that engine could be a problem when he comes up against a fighter like Joseph Parker, who we've seen recently, obviously boxing on the Day of Reckoning card against Deontay Wilder in a fight that a majority of people would have thought he would have been ironed out in. Myself as well, I thought he was going to get clipped. I thought there's no way that Deontay Wilder doesn't land a right hand, and he didn't. Joseph Parker absolutely took him to the cleaners and nearly stopped him as well. He had him all over, doing the chicken dance in the corner, fighting for his life like this. I mean, when I was watching that Parker performance, it took my breath away, actually, because he was so good that I just didn't even know he had it in his locker, because we've actually got we've got the exact same opponent that ZHANG beat, Joe Joyce, that not so long ago actually beat Joseph Parker. Obviously, if you don't know, Joseph Parker has 34 wins, 23 by knockout, 3 defeats, and the one knockout defeat was to Joe Joyce. He just bullied him, used his size, and then eventually Joseph Parker was just too tired. He put all it in, and then Joe Joyce landed a beautiful left hook and got him out of there. He couldn't continue. But we've got to talk about this Joseph Parker career for a second, because the man, how many years? 2018. So we're talking 6 years ago, nearly to the date. Like a couple more weeks, and it's 6 years ago that he lost to Anthony Joshua. That's how long he's been on the scene. He's 32. So he was 26? Yeah, 26 when he fought AJ. I mean, obviously AJ was pretty young himself. I think AJ was like 28. He's been around for so long, similar to Anthony Joshua. And then obviously after the AJ fight, he lost again, which was to Dillian Whyte, which, by the way, was one of the fights of the year. I don't know if it got any awards, but it was such a good fight. Absolute dust up. Both dropping each other. Parker went down twice. Dillian down in the 12th. Dillian nearly stopped in the 12th. What a good fight that was, by the way. But he had 2 back-to-back defeats. Dropped the levels considerably. He started fighting back in New Zealand and in America. Started to get some victories. Got the KOs back. Then ended up fighting Junior Farr in 2021 when he was undefeated. Got the unanimous decision win over him. Then he came back to the UK, had the Derek Chisora fight, which again was a very close fight, the first one. I thought it was very tight. I actually did score at Chisora for the first one. We had Parker was obviously down in the first round, and then in the second one, oh my word, Joseph Parker turned up the screws and absolutely smashed Chisora. Had him counted in the 4th, down in the 7th and in the 8th, and he got a unanimous decision. Absolutely unbelievable from Joseph Parker in that fight. And then we had the defeat, obviously, to Joe Joyce, which was in the Manchester Arena, and it was a bad one. He got cut, and then he got stopped by that left hook. It was a bit of a, what does he do now? Where does Joseph Parker go now? You'd think, well, he's just lost to Joe Joyce. He was moving his way back up, and he's fallen off the perch again. Is there really a way back? Obviously, still young, but has he got it at this top level? Again, he built his way back up. Had a fight with Jack Massey, who is actually a cruiserweight. Came up to heavyweight, and he did get his face boxed off, and then went back to Melbourne for a Pelu, and then he fought Simon Keane in Riyadh, and then obviously Deontay Wilder. He's been very, very, very active. And no one, again, me including myself, didn't think he was going to do that to Deontay Wilder. But that new link-up, well, it's not new because they've been training with each other for a while, but the link-up with Andy Lee has been very inspirational, I would say. Not inspirational, but it's been very effective for Joseph Parker. I feel like he's really come on leaps and bounds since training with Andy Lee. And I think his career has just gone from here to here to here. I really, really do think this could be a very close fight, and I think he could get himself the win. Obviously, we're talking about Zhili Zhang's stamina and feet. Joseph Parker's got the exact opposite. He is light on his feet. He can bop in and he can go in and out of range very, very nicely. And we know he's got the gas tank for 12. He put on an absolute pace against Deontay Wilder. Can box on the back foot. We know he's got good boxing skills, and he's got a bit of a punch behind him. I don't know if he's got enough punch though to keep Zhili Zhang off him. I think Zhili Zhang will just sit here, get in his tight guard, and just wait, kind of walk Parker down, and then try and land his own big shots. You know, from that southpaw position, he'll be looking for that backhand, that right hook, the jab. But can Joseph Parker move in and out, circle the ring on the outside of the apron, tire ZHANG out, and then potentially step on the gas near the end when Zhang has got a little bit more lactic acid in those arms, in those legs? He's become even slower footed. The hands maybe not as sharp, and then Joseph Parker could potentially take over. That is a possible outcome for this fight. I really do believe Joseph Parker could, if he can, weather the storms. Try not to get caught too often, because you know ZHANG will hurt you if he tags you clean. We just know that for a fact. He's got big Chinese power. They don't call him Big Bang Zhang for no reason. Can Joseph Parker do it? That is the question, and we are going to find out. My prediction for this actual fight is that ZHANG does get defeated. Actually, I've literally just changed my mind. The more I think about it, the more I think Joseph Parker now is at a level where he could be potentially fighting for a world title in the next. He might even be fighting for a vacant world title this year against Anthony Joshua, potentially both coming. If they both come through, there is a world in which they could be fighting for a vacated belt if Usyk and Fury. There's a lot of if, buts, and maybes, but if Fury and Usyk do the rematch, AJ gets through this, Parker gets through this, there could be a world where we see a Joshua versus Parker rematch for a vacant world title. I really do see that as a potential outcome, and I do see Joseph Parker being victorious. ZHANG could, of course, knock out Joseph Parker early in this fight. I think ZHANG's got a window of the first 7 rounds. I think if it goes past 7, I think Joseph Parker will win on points. I don't think Joseph Parker will get a stoppage, but I think he will move. He'll be light on his feet. He'll land shots. He'll come out of the pocket when he needs to, and I do believe he gets the decision. And I think it'll be a very grueling fight. I could see Zhang potentially even dropping Parker. We know Parker can get up and carry on, but we also know he can be stopped. ZHANG is a absolute beast. We know he's got the skill. We know he's got the power, but I think it'll all come down to that feet. And I think Joseph Parker is really on the hot step, but so is ZHANG. I think it'll be fight of the night. I think ZHANG is going to put it on him as much as he can, potentially hurt Joseph Parker, and then Joseph Parker gets back, gets his senses back, and kind of not coasts, but grooves out a decision, being light on those feet. And I do think Joseph Parker decision. That is my prediction for this fight. I think it's going to be an absolute belter. If you want to see it, and if you want to see me do a live watch along, I will be here on Friday for majority of these fights. There's some crackers, and we are going to be doing a predictions for the whole undercard. Obviously, I've given you the predictions really for the main card, well, the 2 main fights, but there's a whole card of this, which is absolutely fantastic, and I will be doing my predictions for the Nick Ball, the Mark Chamberlain, the Roman Fury, all the fights on the undercard. I'll be doing a prediction video for tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Who do you think is going to win in the comments down below? I think we've got 2 elite top 5 heavyweights here in their prime, ready to go, and I believe that Joseph Parker, the New Zealander, gets his hand raised, and I think it's going to be fight of the night. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, I suppose, so have a good one. I'm out.